A man that needs a little introduction up here in Fort Wayne, already a 1A and 2A state champion. Blackhawk Christian's Caleb First being named this year's Indiana's Mr. Basketball. And Indiana Tech is ready to strike again. If winning the NAIA National Championship wasn't enough, the Warriors now turning the attention to the USBC postseason. Yeah, Glenn, the Tin Caps coming back like they had never left. Man, did it feel good to be back inside Parkview Field for the first time in over 600 days. The goal is pretty simple. When a football player graduates from high school, they want to take their talents immediately to college. But sometimes life gets in the way, and whether the athlete needs to straighten up the academics or just develop more as young men, instead of not going at all, programs like Liberty Prep Sports Academy spend about a semester to a year not only correcting these issues, but letting the athletes still compete with the hopes of making it to the next level. From the links to the late models, Rogers has got a busy weekend ahead of her. First, the girls' sectional golf tournament, then within an hour, she's racing in one of the biggest events of her season. You've heard of the game horse, right? Well, this is called NECC. We've got seniors on this side, underclassmen on this side. Whoever's the first to make the other team spell out NECC, that's your winner. Ladies, are you ready? In the 48 years of the program's existence, these girls behind me are the first to bring home a volleyball semi-state trophy to Bishop Dwenger. Joining me is head coach Tim Hauser. And coach, you've put countless hours into this program. What did it mean to you, to the team, to do something that had never been done before?
Well, gosh, it's special.
While Sturry reaps the benefits of the sport he loves now, his story starts in Ethiopia with the childhood of one hardship after another. In the 2A state championship game, one play and 1 point was the difference. A few costly penalties late and a 38-yard field goal by Western Boone spelt last-second heartbreak for Bishop Luers.
All right, Colton, what's up?
Hey, Kaitor. Yeah, coming up in sports, the Comets are going for 5 in a row tonight inside the jungle. Meanwhile, the Tin Caps can make this the best start this team has seen since 2011 with a win tonight. Highlights and more coming up after the break. Now 5 games into the season, the Tin Caps playing hardball in High A. Off to the team's best start since 2013. With a win tonight, Fort Wayne can claim its hottest opening record in 10 seasons. After much anticipation, a new wave of Fort Wayne sports is finally here. It was a year ago that Fort Wayne FC was set to make the team's debut, but COVID pushing that back, that is, until now. Leading the charge is co-owner and Summit City icon DeMarcus Beasley, the city's new soccer team kicking off the franchise's premiere in Detroit. For the Chicago White Sox, one of the team's most iconic sounds is organist Lori Moreland. Moreland sitting down with Wayne 15 about her journey from Fort Wayne to being a major key in the Windy City. Speaking of the playoffs, the Bears in control of their own destiny, and it's pretty simple. Chicago wins the rest of the regular season, and they're in.
And your champion with a time of 15:55 from Angola, Isaiah Sturry.
In the last 12 months, he's run 3,000 miles, which is essentially about 60 miles a week for the last 12 months.
With the help of a coach, an unmatched determination, and time to test limits during stay-at-home orders earlier this year, Angola junior Isaiah Sturry emerging as one of the state's and nation's best high school distance runners.
The angle that we took, both of us, was the more miles that he can put in March through July, the better he's going to have a peak for state, for cross country.
He told me if you push yourself, you really can do somewhere, and I followed his plan, and now it seems like it's working, so I'm really excited where that's going to go.
Mile split national runner of the week, USA's track and field runner of the month, and even breaking national records for times at races. What Sturry's been able to accomplish just in his 3rd year of high school is remarkable.
The accolades, it's hard to keep up with, and the times, and he just keeps breaking school records like every time he goes out there, it seems like.
I mean, it's awesome. I'm so happy and great, but I mean, I'm not satisfied, I could say. I want to do better, and I just want to improve.
While Sturry reaps the benefits of the sport he loves now, his story starts in Ethiopia with the childhood of one hardship after another.
When my mother was still alive, it was great, really awesome. I was treated with the best and respect, but after that, I mean, everything did change.
Born in a small countryside village in Ethiopia, Story's biological dad leaving him at birth and his mom passing away unexpectedly left him without a family in search of a place to call home, so he tried living with his stepfather.
I wasn't very respected. I wasn't wanted because I wasn't his own child. I was nothing basically.
For a while, Story bouncing around from relative to relative, at some point getting mistreated or beaten everywhere he went.
It was an awful time, and I've cried so much. Now these days I can't even cry anymore.
Story eventually found his way back to his sister's house, and it was there that they decided the best place for him would be an orphanage.
My sister put me in a great place to be, and then now I'm really here.
But how did he wind up over 7,500 miles away from Ethiopia to a small town in northeast Indiana? Well, that's where the stories of Angola come in.
Everyone wants to adopt the little babies. And so they had these older orphans that they just wanted to try to get put into homes.
The story's giving it a shot. First hosting Isaiah for 4 weeks under the strict condition that adoption was not to be mentioned.
In case something came up, between then and the adoption process completing, they didn't want us to say anything to them about adoption. But he called us mom and dad.
Moving into a new country and learning a new language, there was reason to be nervous, but Isaiah was just happy someone wanted to love him as much as he wanted to be loved.
The translator in Ethiopia at the orphanage told us that he kept asking, when's mom and dad coming back to get me? When's mom and dad coming back to get me?
It's just been quite a journey for me, and I'm just so blessed that God has been there for me. And so even at my lowest point, he was there, and right now he's been there.
God has truly blessed us because Isaiah is definitely a gift.
Given plenty of reason to put his life in Ethiopia in the past, the runner instead embracing his culture.
I don't want to forget my childhood because that's what really brought me to be here today. And without my childhood, really, I wouldn't be who I am because I wouldn't be as strong and as motivated.
And that's why he's going to be great, because he's taken the talent that he's been given, but he's going to maximize it with his work ethic and his mental toughness. He has that rare gift that as a coach I can't teach, that mental toughness.
Since a young shepherd in Ethiopia, Story's always dreamed big, so it's no surprise as to where he wants his running career to take him.
My dream is someday to be an Olympian.
Do I think we'll see him on TV someday run in the Olympics? I do. In his late 20s, if he stays motivated, stays healthy, and just keeps that same incredible personality he has right now and love for the sport of running.
In the marathon of life, Story keeping great pace. For Wayne 15 Sports, I'm Colton Howard. A man that needs a little introduction up here in Fort Wayne, already a 1A and 2A state champion. Blackhawk Christian's Caleb First being named this year's Indiana's Mr. Basketball. Caleb, first off, you're the first person from Fort Wayne and the first person going to Purdue to do this since Caleb Swanigan did it back in 2015. First, what are the raw emotions after being named this year's Indiana's Mr. Basketball?
Yeah, I'd say just first and foremost, I'm very grateful, not just for the opportunity to win this, but grateful for the teammates and the people around me and all my coaches that have helped me reach this point.
When you make it to a finalist, everybody there is deserving of an award like this. What do you think made you stand out from the rest?
I'd say just the way that it definitely helps to have a great team, and just the way that we were able to play together as a team, and just our team success as well. Like you said, there's so many great players, and so just to receive it from that group, it's very very humbling.
Speaking of finalists, this was a pretty special experience to go compete against Trey Kaufman-Wren. He's a 3A state champion and a future teammate of yours. How special of a moment was to compete for an award like this with him?
Yeah, it was really cool. He texted me, after I won and congratulated me, and we just kind of talked a little bit about how we're excited to get down to Purdue in the summer and, work together and hopefully compete together during practice.
Speaking of a special experience, you've got to do all of this with a very special guy to you, your head coach, Mark Davidson. How much of an impact has he made on you as a player, and how special of a moment was this for the both of you?
Yeah, he's been great. I always like to say he's a great coach on the court, but he's an even better mentor and just leader off the court. And so the way that he's supported me in both those ways and kind of helped me along the way, not just with this, but with my college decision and everything, always free to talk about stuff that's going on. It definitely meant a lot.
To win an award like this in a state that's crazy about basketball, that has crazy good talent, has it hit you yet just how special an award this is and how your name will forever be up there with some of the greatest?
I think it's starting to a little bit. At first, it was kind of just with everything going on, it felt like a lot, and I don't think I really realized it at the moment, but definitely the more I've thought about it and with it being announced and everything, it definitely is starting to feel more special.
All right, take a good look at him. There he is, future Purdue Boilermaker and 2021 Indiana's Mr. Basketball. Caleb First, reporting at Blackhawk Christian High School, Colton Howard.